to enrich any individual. The only thing that we're doing is trying to establish something that future generations can latch on to. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. So, again, man, this beautiful black man right here, today we have the opportunity to help him to establish this nation of Islam. To take this nation building 101 information that we receive by Allah's grace and do something to help establish Islam in Denver. I don't know about y'all, man, but Denver, I'm born and raised in Denver. So it's not enough for me to go to Chicago or Detroit or New York or Indianapolis and say how wonderful the Muslims are doing there, or Atlanta, any of those spaces. That's great. But I want us to be doing great here. You hear what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I want us to establish Islam here.
That's right.
Come on.
I want the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to look from Mosque Mariam, from his home in up in Michigan, and look and see the star of Islam shining up on a mountain that's 5,280 feet high.
Come on, brother.
That's right, brother.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, praise is due to Allah, man. So I want to thank you all, man, for coming and blessing us with your presence. I know y'all could have been watching football. Y'all could have been watching the Broncos lose again. Or any of these other high-priced $1 million Negroes run up and down the field. But we thank you for coming out and spending your morning with us. And with that, I'm going to leave you as I greeted you in peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. Everybody all right?
Yes, sir.
Did we learn something today?
Yes,
sir.
Praise be to Allah. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. I don't want y'all to go home and be like, man, that brother wasn't talking about nothing. That's how I used to be at church, man. You go home, your mom asks you what you learned at church today, and be like, ugh. The choir was good.
As always. Yes.
But you ain't learned nothing. All right, family. So I have a question, but before I get to my questions, in the Nation of Islam, what we do, that's a little bit different than what they do in the churches. We allow for questions because we know that we've given you a lot of information, some of which you may have heard, some of which you may not have heard, but we always want to give everybody the opportunity to ask questions. I don't arrogate to myself that I know everything. Matter of fact, I really don't know much of nothing. What we try and do is give you what we have learned from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
And because this is who we are trying to represent.
Come on.
So at this time, if you have any questions, and it could be any question about the Nation of Islam, it doesn't necessarily have to be what you heard here today, but anything that you have that we can address. Sister Ladios? Wa alaikum salam, ma'am.
Great lecture.
Praise be to Allah.
So on building the Nation 101, you mentioned about separation.
Mm-hmm.
Can you expound on what that means? Does that mean emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, separating from the enemy, the white man? And then once we are building and are establishing this nation within the nation, does that mean that we are no longer dealing with the white man on any physical level, or just more on a spiritual and a
Very
mental
good question.
level?
Very good
Because
question.
I think some people, some of us, I'll include myself over time, I have thought this, like, we're just not going to deal with them, but I don't
Right.
foresee that happening.
Very good question. Thank you for your question, sister. Yes, ma'am. All the above. Mentally, separation mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, the whole nine. And that separation occurs first, and that's a very good point, in our brains. hearts, in our minds, in our
Yes,
ways,
sir.
and our actions, that we don't do what our enemy has taught us to do.
Right, right.
And the ultimate plan is, of course, separation physically in a separate state or territory that we can call our own. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad outlines in what the Muslims want, the back page of every final call, that we would like, 8 to 10 states that are fertile and minerally rich with an outlet to the sea, that we would establish our own nation, and that the enemy should supply our needs for the next 20 to 25 years until we're able to go on our own. So it's all of those things. All of those things. Praise be to Allah. Does that answer?
So once we get those 8 states.
Oh, are we gonna? So, and what we would do, thank you, sister, thank you. What we would do with regards to communicating with not only just our enemies, but other nations, just like any other nation. We have diplomatic relationships with anybody.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if it benefits our nation. But knowing who we're dealing with.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Praise Allah. Big bro. Yes, sir.
Salam.
Wa alaikum salam, big bro.
I appreciate you asking that question because I was kind of going to ask that question too. But then the names we have, I kind of read that. Well, he talked about it in Message to the Black Man. And then I saw an old video from, I was talking to, I'm in the Army. So I was talking to a brother of mine. He was talking about a video Malcolm X had from like I think it was the 60s, I believe. I could be wrong when he was talking about it as well. If you don't change your name, I don't understand what the difference is from like.
Very good question. Very good question. And you'll read in Message to the Black Man too as well. You'll get to it where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that a good name is not as good as gold, but a good name is better than gold. A name denotes not only your family, but a name denotes ownership. Let me give you an example. When we were brought here, and we've all seen Roots, the brother Kunta Kinte name was changed. The white man made him call himself Toby. He beat it into him until he took it on. And the white man made him change his name to Toby because now he owned him. So Toby, not only did he own him, but it cut off familial ties to his ancestry. So black people in America are unique in the sense that we are a people who have been totally cut off from where we came from. We know at some point our ancestors were in Africa. But if you ask the average black American, so-called American Negro, they have no idea what country they came from, what village. They don't know what the language that they spoke. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that when we come into knowledge and in building a reality of our own, a nation of our own, we take on the names of God and we give the devil his name back.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Because now, if a name denotes ownership, who do we belong to?
Right.
If Master Farrakhan Muhammad came and he said he came to establish the nation of Islam and now these are my people, then we belong to him.
Right.
We should go by his name.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I no longer belong to Smith or Johnson or Culpepper or O'Reilly, O'Toole, Hattie Mae hamburger with lettuce and tomato on the side. I don't belong to them. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Devils, white people, if we just to be clear, are named after created things. They're named after animals. Mr. Bush, Mr. Fish, Mr. Hamburger, Mr. Bear. You know, that's what they're named after because they're made people. But the people of God, the original man, he's named after the originator. The originator is named Allah.
That's
Right?
Yes,
You say, well, what does Muhammad got to do with Allah? Muhammad is an attribute of Allah. Muhammad means one who is worthy of praise and praise much.
Yes, sir.
So if I'm named Muhammad, I'm named after God because he's one who's praised and praised much.
That's right.
If I'm named Ali, that means a high and lofty place. Who's more high and lofty than God?
Right.
If I'm named Kareem, it means generous and noble. Who's more generous and noble than God?
That's right.
So we take on the names of God and give the devil his name back.
Give it
Yes,
back.
sir.
The most important thing, and I gotta say this, I gotta stand on this truth, because it was a truth, man, that a lot of people rejected during the time of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But what he said was so important and so heavy. He said, when God came and established this kingdom, devils' names would not be accepted.
That's right.
So he told us straight up, if you had a name of your enemy, you can't even come into the nation. So when we come in, he gives us an X, Malcolm X. X represents in mathematics the unknown. You know what I'm saying? In the algebraic equations, we solve for X. Because what we're trying to do is, we know that we're not niggas no more, right? We ex-niggas, but now we're trying to solve for who it is that we are.
Right.
And once God's man sees who you are, then he'll say, you know what, brother? You're not Jerry, you Kareem. You see what I'm saying? But it's because you're demonstrating a characteristic of God.
Yes, sir.
This is like in martial arts, man. Old school martial artists, you can go to some martial artists and you'll pay and you'll get tested. And they'll give you a certain rank or a certain belt. But if you go to an old school martial artist, traditional, what they do is, a lot of times, they won't even test you officially. They'll watch you. And as you progress in your art, then they'll give you rank. It's the same thing with a name. You ain't got to do nothing. I mean, all you got to do is be yourself.
Right.
That's
Do
right.
works that
Right,
demonstrate God, then he'll give you a name.
Yes. Right.
So, man, by the grace of Allah, man, shoot, give him Muhammad. We can't take it on ourselves. It got to be given to us by our demonstration. So that's the importance of a name. Does that make sense?
Yes, come on, brother.
To Allah. Praise Allah.
Praise
Yes, sir. Go
So
ahead.
I had another one.
Go ahead.
Why do I don't understand the facial hair thing as well. I think I missed that in the book too.
Very good question. Very good. Man, got some good questions. Man.
Yes, sir.
So,
Question again, brother?
facial hair. Talking about the facial hair. So in the nation of Islam, like in traditional, again, I want to be clear. Traditional, I call it traditional Islam as opposed to Orthodox, because Orthodox means right. The brothers will grow a beard. And it depends on where you're from.
Right.
Most of the time, a beard or facial hair is cultural. It's not Islamic. Let me be clear on that.
Go
It's
ahead.
not Islamic. It depends upon what culture you come from. So those who call themselves Sunni Muslims, who are following the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him,
Come on, brother.
they'll wear a beard because they say that's part of the Sunnah. Sunnah means the way or the path of the Prophet. So they don't have no pictures of the Prophet, but according to the scholars, the Prophet wore a beard. So those who say they're following the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad,
Come on, brother.
they'll wear a beard, right? And it's the same in different parts of the Middle East. But if you study the Quran, there's parts in the Quran where it talks about how when we come into knowledge, our heads are shaved, as are our faces.
That's right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in lifting the black man up, desired to make us unalike.
Go ahead.
What do you mean by that, brother? Well, we were born, of course, so-called American Negroes, but there was a law that he taught that unlike attracts, like repels. Unlike attracts, like repels. So if you're unlike your people, they'll be attracted to you. So instead of having our pants hanging off our behinds, wearing a whole bunch of hip-hop gear, having facial hair, having dreads and whatnot, which is what a lot of our people wear, we are clean shaven, we wear suits. We're always act in a business-like manner in order to attract our people. Instead of just doing whatever it is that we want, we're organized. You see what I'm saying? It's that when the way it should be when you see Muslims out in the community, FOI, you shouldn't know who's in charge because everybody looks the same. All you see is organization and militancy, which you don't see amongst black people unless they in the military, right? So the idea of being clean shaven is we're military. We're military, but we're not military according to the laws and the standards of God. Not of the devil. We're military according to the laws and standards of God.
Come on, brother. That's right.
So we're allowed to wear. You can wear whatever facial hair you want, honestly. But when you come into the nation and you're amongst the brothers, man, if everybody got a clean shaven, I'm shaving mine off too. I want to fit in. You know what I'm saying? And then when you look at our examples, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, you see he's clean shaven. You see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he's clean shaven. You see Master Father Muhammad, he's clean shaven.
That's right.
When we see all of these clean shaven brothers and we desire to be like them, we want to be as close to them physically as we possibly can. All right?
Yes, sir.
Praise be to Allah. But it's not unlawful for you to wear your facial hair. It's completely up to you. But it is more military that we be clean shaven. Okay. Yes, sir.
My fault, y'all. I got a
Nah,
whole
you
bunch of
good.
questions.
Oh,
You good. That's why we
You know
here,
what,
brother.
Cool, what you doing, brother?
I said it. I
Appreciate
wouldn't lie when I said you could ask questions. You could ask questions.
I think I caught this part in the autobiography of Malcolm X and Message to the Black Man as well when they